Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike. You're gonna see a lot of me. I got a lot of reviews to do, and Mike don't take no breaks in that regard. I get it done, you know what I'm saying? And I get it done for y'all. Um, there's a lot of reasons I do what I do. I do it for me. Like, sometimes if I forget, I can always use these videos and go back and remind myself. I have not had to do that yet, but the option is there, you know what I'm saying? Um, no, but I do these videos for a lot of things, these reviews, or, I try and, lately I've been trying to pick the off-the-wall stuff that most people have not heard of because I want to get the word out, especially if it's something good that I liked. I can tell you one thing, I will never steer you wrong. You're going to get my honest opinion. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. If I did like it, I'm going to tell you what I like, that kind of stuff. I don't need to hide. I have no reason to lie. I don't know tides to anybody, so it's kind of how it is. But with all that being said, let's get into this review that I got for you. This is Vault Comics Deadbox #1. It's under the Nightfall imprint. I have liked all the imprints that these independent comics are doing. We got with Vault, we got Nightfall, we got with Scout, we got Black Caravan. DC's even kind of started their own horror brand, and even before that, we got Black Label. Marvel has kind of gone back and forth with their darker, more adult theme stuff. But man, I dug this first issue. We got a Deadbox by Vault Comics. It is written by Mark Russell. Artist is Benjamin Tiesma. We got colorist is Vladimir Popov, and lettering is by AndWorld, and I think it's AndWorld Design. But it might just be AndWorld. If I mispronounce any of those names, I'm completely sorry. First off, I'm bad with names, so don't come here looking for names, I'm just horrible with names, man. Okay, so we get caught up in Lost Turkey. It is a small town, located somewhere in America. I am not positive. I'm pretty sure if it's a real town, we can look it up or something like that. Use that Google for something. But we got Lost Town, and it is basically a small town, in America. And they focus on all these bubbles in the beginning as kind of, maybe the writer's idea of the way America is at the moment, how we vitalize, pop culture icons, how we get behind symbols like the flag and the army and stuff like that. And it kind of sets on tones as far as like where we are pop culture wise, as far as like icons and methodologies and stuff like that. We do catch up with our main character in this story. Now, I'm not positive if she is going to be an ongoing character. This could be like an anthology type of series where this might be a one and done, and the next issue could be the whole set of different characters. I'm not sure. I kind of hope it's not, because I rather enjoyed this character. But we follow this lady right here, and her name is Penny. Penny is working at her dad's shop. Her dad is currently ill. Recently, in the past, like let's say 6 months, her father had purchased this Redbox machine over here that rents DVDs. I'm not sure if they physically call it a Deadbox like the title is called, but for copyright issues they might have. But it's basically a Redbox or a Blockbuster, and it's one of those boxes that are basically a vending machine that vends DVDs in this small town. Lacking any kind of real business that offers DVD rental or Blu-ray rental, her father thought it would be a good idea to pick up the Deadbox. So basically the townspeople are kind of notating here. We do get this weird scene with one of the customers, and he says some real stuff, but at the same time he kind of like gives this sneering and sinister laugh as he walks out the door. We do see later on that Penny does take a chance on the Deadbox, even though supposedly a lot of people in the town have not yet partaken in the DVD rentals yet. She did mention that she had looked at all the DVD titles when her father had first got it, and she didn't recognize any of the movies offered in the in the Redbox machine, and not only that, but she did look up a lot of the titles, and none of them seem to exist. Currently in the store, her father has been ill. That is why she is working at the store. She is supposed to be going to college and had to break away from that to kind of help out her dad while he is sick. They kind of go back to that where she is done with a day at work. She rented a movie as she was leaving, and you know, she catches up with her dad, feeds him a little bit, which he is not interested in food, it seems like, but it seems, you know, every day he is getting weaker and weaker, and the daughter, nor the father, nor the doctor seem to know what's going on. Eventually, Penny does have the free time that she was looking for, and I'm going back to this page because it shows what DVD she was watching, but this is it's called The Lonely Planet. And basically we are just watching the movie with her, and it starts out and it's about, you know, it's a sci-fi movie about Earth, and it's basically like, hey, you know, we were reaching out to the stars, you know, looking for answers and questions and sending out questions, and eventually a race responds to us from across the stars, and this race and us, we do connect, and we enjoy each other's communications and stuff like that, and eventually it's on both sides, you know, the new race and our race, the human race, come up with the idea to meet one another. They do the calculations of where in the stars they are and how long it will take a human, you know, volunteer to make the trip, and it turns out that it is a 50-year trip one way and a 50-year trip back. So of course on Earth they take a, you know, they do it, and they come up with numerous fashions on how to choose someone to make the journey, because they definitely want to make the journey to meet this other, you know, alien race, this other planetary species. But at the same time, 50 years is a long time for someone just to commit to. They do like lotteries and draftings and stuff like that. Eventually they settle on a volunteer program. A volunteer eventually is handpicked out of many that do volunteer, and he is sent on his journey. The alien race, overjoyed and ecstatic, actually start planning for the Earthling arrival, which, you know, he'll be there in 50 years if nothing goes wrong along the journey. The rest of the story takes a pause because our star Penny, she gets up and goes and checks on her dad, and runs to the store to grab something, and finds out that a armed robber is inside to rob her. Oh, and it's not even an armed robber, it's just one of the local people that live in this kooky town that it just wanted to show off his gun. Stating that it might be a little safer if she had a gun, and she just states, you know, she might be a lot safer if he just wasn't waving the gun around. There's a back and forth a little bit on the gun control thing, and they go back to you know, Penny with her story, you know, and she goes back to the story, and as they get there, they explain what it was for the volunteer on the journey. They show that the alien race gets ready and prepares their planet for the Earthling that will arrive in the 50-year time span. On the other side, we see that the volunteer is prideful and is taking the task seriously and looking forward to meeting the alien race. But maybe some things just got, you know, maybe didn't thought all the way throughout. You know, 50 years is a long time. And especially one person, and we know humans, but one person by himself, you know, for that amount of time. And they go into talks about, you know, that, you know, communications back from Earth happened for so long and then they were cut off, but even during those communications, because the time span was so different, by the time he even sent out another letter, that person would probably be deceased, type thing. All kind of things plaguing this journey. But the journey finally does come to an end, and the Earthling finally does reach this new planet to be greeted by some overly ecstatic aliens. They're more than excited to welcome their first alien, you know, Earthling visitor. And it couldn't be under worse conditions, because the Earthling gets out, he hasn't eaten in a long time. It seems like the bathroom facilities on the plane have gone awry because he is just shitting and pissing on himself. And it's probably not the sign that they wanted to see, you know, especially seeing a lot of our video and stuff like that. It is not the person that they thought they were going to see. Basically, during the, you know, after greeting this weird, smelly, nasty looking human, they do feed him, greet him, and send him on his way. And unfortunately, it is a 50-year trek back to Earth, which undoubtedly he probably will not survive, because it already looks like he is in his 60s or 70s by the time he got to the planet. That is basically the end of the movie, besides the fact that the Earthlings all had to witness this back on Earth, because somehow it was live televised when the Earthling got to the planet, and so it just was a fun situation for both sides, and that's kind of the end of the movie. It does lead into what the main meat of the story is behind all this that's been going on. We get to the reason the father is truly sick, and she hasn't connected the dot yet, but we see that the father, right before he got sick, had rented a movie himself. And the movie he rented was The Vanishing Man, and they do show the father, and of course it looks like he is vanishing away himself. With that being said, we just watched, you know, or read, or however you want to take it, but we just watched as this woman rented a movie called The Lonely Planet. So we don't know what's in store for her. If, you know, I mean, if the title had anything to do with, you know, him vanishing away, what does that mean? Is, you know, what's going to happen to the girl as far as The Lonely Planet's going to happen? Does that mean everybody around her is just going to disappear and she's going to be stuck in some kind of isolation thing? We don't really know, but that's what we got issue number 2 for. So that was the Vault from from Vault Comics, Deadbox issue number 1. Great art, great story. Actually, I really love the whole idea behind the weird trippy DVD that no one's ever heard of. Come on, we have those ideas in video games and books, and there's mythical games that don't exist, and movies, and so why not, you know? But hey, that's my review. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and tell me what you thought. Leave them comments down below. You know I want to read them. Bye, guys.